shit hot. Oh, I'ma light the shit up. Yeah, I'ma make the shit hot. Oh, I'ma light the shit up.
Hey guys, and welcome back to part 4 of what Deku had every single quirk. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, you all gone for ages, explain yourself. Well, turns out I have a lot more issues than I thought. My phone... Oh, sorry. I just drank a bunch of Coke and all the bubbles just came up and I can feel them in my nose. Basically... I broke my phone microphone and put my phone on silent because I know you guys hate that. And I couldn't record nothing and I couldn't be bothered to make a post about it because I feel like you'd just literally all just think it was a lie. And then second thing, I maybe have been copyrighted on what if Deku was a demigod. And... let's just say, unfortunately, I can't make that series anymore. Apparently, there's a copyright reason with another YouTuber. Apparently, he made it before. And at first, I thought it was just another one saying blah blah. It actually isn't. He literally made the entire idea. I had no clue. I apologised to him and I told him I'll delete the videos if he wants because I know how annoying it is. Because he just thought... I won't tell the YouTuber's name because he's a bit of a small YouTuber. But I don't want you guys to go hate on them. And blah blah, they just like, no, he doesn't mean it like that, he just wants me to like stop like redoing that. It was a completely different what if, like I took a completely different route. But I know how it is, and like he was getting at least 4,000 views on like each episode, and as soon as I made it, that dropped to 100, so I feel really bad. I apologise. I'm not gonna make it anymore. I know that's gonna annoy you guys, but I can't just be like that much of a mean guy. I don't know what to say. Anyway, well, out that way, I got a new mic. I got the Blue Yeti X. It is the pengest mic I've ever had. I could have got the Pro, but I kind of prefer the Yeti X, just the design of it. Anyway, let's just jump straight into this. Last time we left off was, of course, Deku abusing the villains. Also training Bakugo and Todoroki. And with that, Deku completely destroyed the Nomu. Literally mentally broke Shigaraki by telling him he would never be nothing like One for All. Wait, no, All for One. And he also beat the hell out of him, making Shigaraki run away. And also told him childish for always saying it's not fair, which is making Shigaraki really think. And now, after the USJ arc, I'm gonna say... I was going to do the hero versus, like, the students versus teachers arc. Because I always skip that because I don't see a point for it. But I thought there might be one, but I just thought about something. We're skipping the hero versus student arc to jump to the UA festival arc. Because I just had a mad idea. For those of you who know, I don't use a script. I go as I speak. I go as I think. That's why I'm always like, because I always think of something better. So... there's actually just a normal time skip of Troy's training and all of that. Deku trains part of 1A, which we'll get into. But we don't have a hero versus teachers. I mean, students versus their teachers. Or heroes. And so we just go straight to the sports festival. And the first thing when they get told about it, they're all excited, but think, meh, I'm going to try to go... They all think, but like they know they won't be able to beat Deku, so they say, I'll try to go for second or third, and then they think of Bakugo Todoroki and says, we can only hope. But that's when they're getting ready to leave, Bakugo and Todoroki. And outside the classes, class 1B, Monoma flexing on all of them, and Deku's just like, don't get involved. And then there's Shinso. I'm changing his quirk. He can control people's minds by if they answer the question, but he can also tell what their feeling is. And Bakugo being himself just tells him, get out of my way or I'll kill you. And Shinso's eyes light up a bit purplish and says, that was a complete lie. how could a hero lie like that? You should be disappointed in yourself, and you're trying to basically break Bakugo, which actually really annoys Deku. So Deku goes to his demon, like not demon side, his other personality, the one he created, his different mind, and pulls him out and goes to Shinso. So, that I was not farting, that's my chair, listen. And all that. Oh, for God's sake. And he's like, so, he might not kill you, but I will kill you. And this other Deku releases all his bloodlust, and Shinso starts like sweating, and tear comes to his eyes, he backs up. Monoma, he's learnt to trust Shinso, and he's like, well, is he serious? And Shinso just nods, not being able to get the words out. But Shinso manages to get a grasp, as Deku takes back control of himself, and says, you're just blessed with an amazing quirk, I guess, if you're so confident. Not everyone will like us. We're so amazing to be gifted quirks like you. And Deku just smirks and says, shut up. Just because you didn't get everything else that everyone else did, you think that you could just use a pity card. There's people in our world who were homeless and are now some of the richest people in the world. Do you think they blamed everyone else for what they was like? No, they worked with what they had and became great. You're just arrogant, selfish, and need to just get over yourself. If you're wondering where I'm like going into this character, I really want to show what type of character this version of Deku is. And Shinso's just a bit shocked. And Deku gets like angry, and one of his eyes turned red, just like letting a bit of his other personality out. And he picks Shinso up by the neck and says, I wasn't joking when I said I'd kill you. And his arm flexes, tearing his uniform a bit, while Bakugo and Todoroki can't help but let out a little giggle. And Deku starts choking Shinso. And Shinso's barely holding her consciousness. He's trying to scratch Deku away. And Monoma goes to tap Deku to try to get his quirk. Nothing happens. He's like, what? And Deku says, I'll let you off this time, but even try to put yourself, your own life, like blame everything you've done on someone else, I won't hesitate to chuck you off the top of this building. He drops Shinso. He tries to actually attack him, and Deku just taps the side of his face, sending him flying across the corridor. Him, Todoroki, and Bakugo walk off. Class 1B's literally now terrified of Deku. This all goes the same when we go to the first test. And, of course, and not the first test, the first event. It's the running event. And of course, Bakugo's thinking, I actually have a chance to win this. And Todoroki's been practicing himself and thinks the same. And Deku just says, I could teleport, you know, because he can read their minds. Everyone's face just went, huh? And they all just realised, yeah, he's actually done that before. Oh, that's not any fair. And he's like, fine, I promise you I won't teleport unless someone plays dirty. He glares at Class 1B. And they all get a shiver. The race begins. Bakugo using an explosion and Todoroki propelling himself with his flames. Oh, for God's sake, I hate this little thing on the back of my chair making that noise. And Deku just runs. He's easily keeping up with them, not even breaking a sweat. Or running out of breath. And they're all just... And Bakugo says, trying to crank it up a little bit. His orange explosions go to blue as he propels himself even further. And same with Todoroki's flames. Deku just uses a bit more speed and zooms past him and realises he slows down a bit. And they just look at him shocked and they think, damn it, I didn't want to have to show this off this quickly, but they both push the black flames and just zoom. And Deku thinks, damn, I actually need to get there or they're going to beat me. And Deku just sprints, right, catching up to them until they get to and then they get to that place where they need to climb ropes and there's a bunch of holes. Of course, Bakugo and Todoroki uses his eyes to like swerve over it on the rope, slow me down a tiny bit. Let me get a moment. Todoroki uses his eyes to like swerve over the ropes. Bakugo just uses the explosion to fly, and they all look at Deku wondering what we'll do since he can fly himself. He just jumps, zooming past Bakugo using his strength, and lands and carries on running. Bakugo creates a massive explosion flying forward, and Todoroki thinks fast and grabs onto Bakugo, sending flying up in the air himself. And he manages to use his fire to slow down a bit. Todoroki could have just flew with his fire, but he doesn't want to give his father the satisfaction of just relying on his fire quirk. And then they both land, and they manage to catch up to Deku slightly. And Deku turns around and says, Todoroki, did you just play dirty? I can teleport, and starts giggling, saying I'm joking. I will speed up from this 1% though. He flicks his toe on the ground and just literally moves at insane speed, making a shockwave, and lands in the middle of the arena. Everyone just starts cheering, and they're like, his quirk must be super speed. And Deku just claps, making a sonic boom by accident, still using a bit too much power. And they're all like, oh no. And then everyone else gets there. Bakugo actually came second, as at the last minute he launched a huge explosion, making Todoroki have to use his ice to block himself. And then Todoroki came literally 0.2 seconds later in third. Todoroki just glares at Bakugo as both their quirks explode. And Aizawa is about to get ready to stop them until Deku just lets out a cough and a glare. And both their quirks, they deactivate them, and they just get terrified. Everyone starts to like Deku, like the audience, because they find him funny. Especially some of the heroes. And they're thinking that his quirk is insanely useful. And then we go to the second event, the Horseman race. Of course, it's Uraraka, Deku, Todoroki, and Bakugo. If you're wondering for this team, it's because, but they all have insanely powerful quirks, and Uraraka's one is insanely useful. And it begins. Todoroki sliding them around in his ice, making it all super easy. Of course, Deku's the one in the middle. Anyone who attempts to grab them has to either avoid Todoroki's ice and flames or Bakugo's explosion. And even when they manage to do that, they can't dodge Uraraka, as all she needs to do is be able to see them. And they fall to the ground. So everyone's just trying to find a magic way. And nothing happens. They all attack them, but Deku's managing to keep them off easily with his own strength. That's when Ida appears and says, fine, I'll have to use it, my Recipio burst. And does it, and Deku considers this a bit of slow motion. And just builds up a force in his hand, propels a huge blast of wind, like literally pushing Ida back even while he's using his speed. Meaning everyone can see the same force Ida's putting out, and the same way Deku put out even in stronger force. And they're all actually quite proud of Ida. No one knew that he was this strong, and due to Deku enhancing his quirk a bit in the USJ arc, but when there's no pain or clogging, it just means that Ida has to wait, I say like 10 seconds to use that again, but he can still use his engines like normal. So before getting caught, he literally runs around. And Deku just saying, no point in making this any less fun. Then Deku thinks, wait a minute, I'm going to have to fight all of these lot, and there's a chance that some of my classmates will get screwed over. I'll just look into for who's the strongest. Deku finds who's the strongest and says he'll leave them. And he literally steals everyone else's headband. Meaning the arc is the same. And he even left Shinso as he saw a bit of potential in his quirk. As such, the three-legged defense, whatever it was, is over. Same as before, same winners except for Bakugo, Deku, Todoroki, and Uraraka in top. Then we go to the fights. The first fight, Deku versus Shinso, the one that you've all been waiting for. And Deku just gets in there. He already understands what Shinso's quirk is due to super intelligence, and just doesn't speak. And he's just talking to him, and Deku just writes it out in flames. And Shinso's just like, damn, he figured out my quirk. And Deku says, like writing out in flames. He's like, I bet that's what you think, that you're just gonna lose because you didn't get the perfect quirk. Well, let me fight that. He says, Deku speaks to Shinso, what do you want? Shinso tries activating his quirk, and he just gets poured into Deku's mind. And Shinso's like, what? And he just sees the other Deku.
So you finally came. I bet you're thinking, what's happening right now? Are you scared? Are you confused? Are you wondering why you're not controlling Deku?
And Shinso's just like, wait, what? How? You can stop my quirk, no, fight it? Can you turn it on myself? And the other Deku just says to him,
it might be easy controlling someone with only one person in their mind, only one mind in their body. or only one soul? How about when there's multiple people in one soul, in one mind? Or multiple minds? Can you not push your quirk further enough to control them?
And multiple eyes appear behind the other Deku just looking at Shinso, and Shinso gets pushed out of Deku's mind, covered in a sweat. Class 1B's confused, and they just think, did Deku just fight off Shinso? And Shinso says, what the hell? What is your quirk? As only a few people know what it is in class, actually only class 1A knows what it is. And Deku just says, super speed, super strength, maybe saying Kells, who knows, why do you need to know, no one cares. And Shinso just glares. And he's about to say something about Deku having the perfect quirk when he's born, until he can sense Deku's bloodlust. Deku read his mind, and he forces his own images into Shinso's mind. I'm not going to tell you what images because I'm too lazy. But Shinso just sees everything that Deku sees, and he realises that he's actually been a brat, that Shinso's been a brat. And he's like, oh. And Deku says, well, this won't be any fun. And I see some potential for your quirk. Let me show you. Deku taps Shinso's forehead and his eyes light up green. Deku edits Shinso's quirk to be stronger. And also he doesn't need to get someone to speak to have complete control. What he needs, he can control them. But it's only if he has a stronger will than them. And he can just do it by looking at them. Or thinking about them. As long as he has a stronger will. But if someone replies to him, it's a guaranteed control. You can't break it. Except if you're Deku. And then he also says whoever he has mind control of, he can use a weaker version of their quirk. And he can keep them stored, but he can't use multiple at once. He can use maximum 3 at once. And if, say he's copied 10 quirks, he has to stop using one of them to use another. And Shinso automatically recognises the new power and he just thinks, thank you? But before anything happens, Deku just boots him out of the ring. And that's the first round over. The next fight, I'm just going to say, let's just skip the boring ones. We all know what you want to see. Todoroki versus Bakugo. They say begin, and everyone's not sure what's going to happen. Todoroki and Bakugo wipe the floor of everyone else they fought. And they just say begin. They rush at each other, Bakugo with explosions and Todoroki propelling himself with his flame. And they slam into each other, creating a huge wave of power. Blow the ordnance back a bit, so Deku puts up a force field around them to stop any of their attacks hitting outwards. And the ordnance just clap to him and thanks. And the fight is still continuing. They're slowly amping up their quirks more and more. They're both started at Black Flame, then taking each other seriously. Bakugo's starting to realise Todoroki's adapting to his move and smirks, thinking, you'll stop relying on your quirk, finally. But I guess I need to rely on mine a bit more. Bakugo using an explosion in one of his kicks, instead of just launching an explosion, he uses it to launch his legs. This means Todoroki didn't react in time and gets hit harder on the face. But the catch himself, instead of just using an insane amount of ice, he mixes his quirks together, creating a blast of heat, but propelling himself forward towards Bakugo and lets out a powerful punch. And in that split second where Bakugo was stunned, he used his ice to launch Bakugo backwards, trying to knock him out of the ring. Todoroki knows it's a bit risky to try to take Bakugo out with only his pure strength or stamina. As to be honest, he hasn't seen Bakugo's limits yet, where Bakugo has seen his limits. And for some reason, Deku's quite fond of Bakugo and his potential, so he can't take him as a joke. He thinks he has to fight one until Bakugo just smiles, places his hands on the ice, and lets out a huge explosion, sending Todoroki flying backwards. And Todoroki just gets up shocked, and he says, damn it. One eye goes black, one eye goes blue, and he lets out a huge amount of his quirk's power, trying to ward Bakugo off. But something that he didn't expect to happen. Bakugo's eyes go reddy black, both of them. And he sort of enters a new form. Flame appears all around him, sort of creating an armour. Bakugo's perfect control of explosions now. So now he has sort of an explosion armour, and he also is able to repel certain people. And the fight continues. They're both going at them in new forms, with both their attacks being stronger. That how Deku and Todoroki launched at each other, so did Bakugo and Todoroki, but they sent each other flying backwards. But now Bakugo's going serious. He's using explosion to increase his speeds towards Todoroki, and makes them daggers in his hands that also speed up his movement. And he literally starts spinning and smacking Todoroki around. Todoroki can't stop him, he can only heal himself with his flame. And Bakugo thinks, I just need to hurt you quicker than you can heal. And he speeds up, shocking Todoroki, outdoing Todoroki's healing factor. And it's just at that moment, Todoroki realizes what he has to do. He lets out a huge explosion of his fire, actually burning up his own arm, which heals itself very quickly, sending Bakugo flying back. And he had a plan, but Bakugo had his own. Bakugo yells out, let's do it, Todoroki. Let's use all our power at once. And Todoroki just couldn't turn down this challenge. They both charge up their quirks to an insane amount. Deku increases the forceful strength, knowing that these attacks clash, it would probably break the one he already had up. And they both charge each other. Bakugo sending out a huge explosion behind him, going at insane speeds towards Todoroki. And Todoroki doing the same. But just before they meet, Bakugo lets out an insanely powerful compact blast that Todoroki fights against, thinking this is Bakugo's attack. Till he realises, wait, was that fake? The power's fading quicker than I expect. He notices Bakugo's using an explosion and his insane speed that he's using a new level of speed that Todoroki can't even fully react to. And has moved just out of Todoroki's eyesight to be below his chin and propels his fist up, leaving a nasty uppercut. And then he spins and puts out his fist. And with a huge explosion, he slams his hand down on Todoroki's chest, sending him flying out of the ring. The audience just starts cheering, and Todoroki lays in a wall, barely conscious, and thinks, I guess you did use all his strength. One thing that is different between Bakugo and Todoroki is that Bakugo uses strategy. Oh, one sec, guys. Sorry if you guys had that click. Bakugo uses more strategy than Todoroki, due to growing up with Deku as kids. And next part, guys, if you show up, will be Bakugo versus Deku, which I know you all going to look forward to. And yeah, hope you guys do enjoy. If you did, remember, like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. Like goal for the next part is 225 likes, 225. That's it. So we're nearly at 13,000 subscribers. I hope you guys do enjoy. Peace out, guys. Bye. Mwah.